Hello there everybody, and welcome back yet again to the Joe Nerd's Toy Room. Back again with another vintage Masters of the Universe action figure review. Again, this is another near mint figure that I acquired through my good friend the Plastic Junkie. Now, Jitsu. I was really excited to get this figure. This vintage figure has been on my wants list for a really long time as far as vintage goes. I was really thrilled to find out that we're gonna get a Jitsu early next year, in February, I believe, of 2013. But I still, even though I knew that, I still really wanted a vintage Jitsu. He's pretty much one of my top favorites, I think I would say, in the entire vintage line. First of all, I just wanted to give a little idea of what he looks like without his chest armor, you know. So let's get this on him, because once I do, he'll look a lot more like the Jitsu we all know and love. Nice little snap there. Boom. Nice satisfying snap. We toy collectors seem to like those. Alright. So now, Jitsu is looking all really tough. Really intimidating, actually, as far as the evil warriors go. He has a really nice, menacing scowl on his face. He looks just really mean. So what did I want to talk about first? I guess what I'll do is I'll give a full view around. I neglected to do this in my Mechaneck review. Actually, it's kind of good that I remember to do it here for Jitsu, because he's a lot more interesting as far as the back of his armor goes. It's got a lot of nice detail in there, as you can see. And this sample is, it's very near mint. The biggest flaws that I could tell on it is, I don't know if you'll be able to make this out in the video, guys, but the gold paint on, especially on the back half of his armor, especially here on the shoulders, the gold paint is slightly wearing thin, you know. There's a little bit of red showing through a little bit, and the two ball bearings, the two like rivet type details here that were painted red, they are actually, they have a little bit of scratching on them, but I think you'll be able to tell in the video. But anyway, that's about it as far as scratches go. Everything else is immaculate, is beautiful, man. These samples that the Plastic Junkie got are amazing. So another thing that's amazing about him is his chopping hand. His big chopping hand is beautiful. Not a chip, not a scratch on it. The vac metallization is pretty much just like new. And let's give you a look at the palm of it, actually. If anybody isn't familiar with this figure, yeah, the inside of it, on his wrist here, it is hollow, which is a little strange, eh? Like the Fisto did not have that, but Jitsu did. I'm guessing that it could have had something to do with the fact that Mattel knew that they were going to have to vac metallize the piece. And whereas with Fisto, it was just a straight up kind of like silver gray plastic. So that could have had something to do with the fact why they had to do it that way. Anyway, besides that, let's look at his action features. Action features are, well, alright, let's start with the basic first. He has the standard twist waist. Alright. And what's kind of nice about that, the twist waist, is, I was thinking about this, I don't know, it's kind of stretching it. I was thinking you could kind of get a karate chop just with the twist waist a little bit. Maybe, just like an underhanded kind of karate chop, maybe. Martial arts chop move, I guess you could say. Alright, now, this is the major feature. main feature of the figure is the main martial arts chop here. You just hold the arm up and let it go, and it flies down. So, I'll tell you, the spring-loaded mechanism inside of him to bring his hand down is really, really strong. This figure was really well taken care of, you know. I'll show you again from the front. It just really has a lot of force behind it. Yeah, it's awesome. All right, now, besides that, before I get to the accessory, I wanted to touch on something that I thought was very interesting. And I'm glad I remembered about this before I started filming the review. So, I remember when the Masters of the Universe Classics Fisto figure had just been released. This is some time ago. I remember everyone was making a big deal about the fact that Mattel and the Four Horsemen put a lot of thought into it, and they actually made the Fisto's arm with the big fist. They actually made it the arm was bulkier and more muscular. And I always thought, geez, everybody, in all the reviews I'd seen, nobody actually mentioned that the vintage figure actually had that too. So Jitsu carries that over because, of course, all of you know that Jitsu has basically the same body parts as Fisto. So, and to illustrate this, I don't know if you could tell right from here, but I sure can, is that his shoulder and his bicep is quite a bit bigger. So to illustrate that, I'm going to bring in another figure. I'll bring in a Battle Armor He-Man, just so you can tell. Like, if you're looking at them side by side like that, I can really tell anyway, that especially the shoulder here is a lot bigger. Let's zoom in just a little bit on that. So the shoulder is a lot bigger, the bicep is a little bit bigger, but it's mostly in the upper arm, in the shoulder, and it carries through a little bit into the bicep. And not only is it on the big hand arm, it carries through to the other side as well. Maybe you can tell a little more on this one. Oh yeah, this one actually you could tell even more. This one here, you could really tell that he's a lot thicker here in the upper portion of his arm than the standard Masters figure. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to do with that. Just to let some of you out there who weren't familiar as much with the vintage figure kind of show that it was really smart and really cool of the Four Horsemen to include that detail in the Fisto figure for the Masters of the Universe Classics. But I just wanted to, you know, point it out that it had been done already. Like, already the designers in the vintage days, they had thought of that as well. So anyway, that aside, let's get on to the accessories, or accessory. Besides the snap-on armor, which I showed earlier, he came with this really nice original mold, like a samurai sword, kind of katana blade samurai sword, which was really a unique and odd thing to have in a Masters of the Universe line. This is really, now that I'm thinking about it, this is really one of the early instances of Mattel designers. You know, I'm guessing it was Roger Sweet's idea. He always seemed, from what I've read, he always seemed to be the one really pushing for the really odd, weird, wacky stuff that a lot of the other Mattel people were kind of shy about including into the line. So I would even guess that this has Roger Sweet's name on it. I would guess, because we've got a real world thing what with besides the fact that he's a martial arts samurai type character, but then even with the accessory, you've got like a kind of like a real world Japanese inspired sword included in this fictional universe line. So anyway, aside from all that rambling, which is a little more detail I guess than a lot of you needed, but anyway, so, and there you go, have him with his holding his sword. One other interesting thing about his sword, I don't want to eat up too much time, but I've got a little bit of time. You'll notice that the handguard, I always thought, even as a kid, I picked up on this, is that Mattel, I think they mistakenly put the handguard on the wrong way, because as you can see, the curve of the blade, if anybody knows anyone watching this, I'm sure you know your, the way that a katana blade looks, it has a backwards swept blade going on. And really, it should have been, the handguard should have been on the other side, on this side. So if you have him holding it with the handguard on properly, he's just holding it backwards. So anyway, or I suppose you could twist it all the way around, which I don't want to do, don't really want to stress out the plastic very much. But anyway, you get the idea of what I was trying to explain there. So what I do is I have him hold it like that. So anyway, yeah, that's about it. That is Jitsu, the evil master of martial arts. Yeah, he is, yeah, a damn classic. Aside from the figure and the accessories, I don't have the packaging of this figure, of course, because this is a loose sample that I acquired. I don't have the mini comic, but I do have a copy of the mini comic, one of the two mini comics that this figure originally was included with. I was just on He-Man.org. The two mini comics, apparently the two mini comics that were originally included with this figure, one of them was The Secret Liquid of Life, or you could have gotten this comic with it. This one, The Clash of Arms. So, and luckily I already had a copy of this mini comic. I'm not really sure exactly which figure, I can't remember which figure came with it, but anyway, so that's about it. So this is actually one of the two mini comics that came with this Jitsu figure originally. And I was looking at this mini comic. This is really interesting. It's very it's quite heavy-handed with the violence, I find. And you could really tell that this is a Mattel project and it had nothing to do with Filmation. You know, because Filmation, you know, that they were not allowed to have so much violence in their cartoons. And look at this, and this is really interesting. He-Man rescues Fisto atop of Stridor, and instead of fighting the villains, he chooses to blast them with a laser pistol. And look at this, and he just blasts one of Skeletor's generic goons right in the face. It's amazing. It's just odd to see. It's so different from what the canon we've grown to, you know, what with Filmation, what we've come to think of as normal in the Masters of the universe, and just to see this stuff, like Mattel was really, they were not worried so much as Filmation was in terms of violence in that. Not that this is very violent, but you know, it's a lot more violent. A lot more violence associated with Masters of the Universe than a lot of us have grown to be used to. So anyway, yeah, that's about it, guys. So thanks a lot for watching this little review of Jitsu, the evil master of martial arts. So until next time, guys, take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.